Thank you, Sarah.
Now it's working.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us on your Thursday night. Sorry, this was kind of last minute, but I was really excited because I heard that this amazing deck was being put together, and I've been getting questions all week, and I know many of you have been, about the Hugh Grace business and the opportunity and the brand. And so we wanted to go over it with you and just answer questions. You're welcome to ask questions in the chat as well. And please reach out to the advocate that obviously invited you to this, and we will have this recorded. My name is Brooke. To introduce, I live in Southern California. I am a director and founding member in Southern. I have 3 boys and 2 very loud dogs, in case you can't hear them. And I've been here for a little over 1.5 years with Hugh Grace. I left a very profitable business to take a chance on something I absolutely fell in love with. And that was not only Ben and Sarah, but this opportunity, this brand, their family, and all of the people here. So Kelly is going to go through, and Ben and Sarah, do you guys just want to talk through this as we go through and tell your story a little?
You know what? Yeah, we'll do. I know I have a pretty good idea where the deck flow is. So what we'd like to do is just kind of share the why behind Hugh and Grace, and you'll see some slides in here.
Let's go back, Kelly. Just talk first.
Yeah, let's talk for a second, then we can kind of go through. We can just build through here.
And Kelly, say hi.
Hi, everybody. So I am Senior Director of Sales at Hugh & Grace, and I've been here since the actual launch day, which is crazy. I've been in the industry for 20 plus years, and I'm sure some of you that are watching this know me well, but I am so happy to be here and have loved every minute. And I think you'll hear some of the reasons why when we go through this deck for sure.
Well, first of all, I'm Ben. This is Sarah. We're the co-founders of Hugh & Grace, and we just want to comment both to Brooke and to Kelly how much we appreciate you guys. This has been an incredible ride. Kelly's been on it since the beginning, and she's just an amazing addition to our team. And she's kind of what we call her, like the heart of the field. She knows what everybody's doing all the time, how they're feeling, what they need, and it's incredible. She takes such good care of people, and we're so fortunate to have her. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, also the why behind Hugh and Grace. I love, because both Kelly and Brooke had very successful careers. We also had very successful careers, but we were really driven and actually compelled to start this business. So Ben and I have been married for 22 years, and we struggled for 14 of those years with unexplained infertility. We got married relatively young. I was 23, Ben's 25. I think 26. Outside looking in, we look very healthy. Like, I was an ultra marathoner. Ben was doing CrossFit. We had the green drinks and the protein and the flaxseed and the chia seed, and like the fact that we could not get pregnant, do the one function that we want our bodies to do, didn't work. We did a lot of research during our 14 years of unexplained infertility, and we learned a lot about the topic of hormone disruption and also hormone health. During all my rounds of IVF, I'd put a hormone cream on my leg, get my blood levels tested the next day, and my hormones had spiked, and just didn't put 2 and 2 together till later that what you're rubbing on your skin impacts your hormones. The amazing part of our story is my husband Ben's sister volunteered to be our surrogate and gave birth to our little Hugh. And then my sister volunteered to be our second surrogate and gave birth to our daughter Grace. The name Hugh means heart, mind, and spirit. The name Grace means goodness, generosity, and love. And we finally had our kids, and we had learned all about the topic of hormones, hormone health, what does this mean, and realizing that the data of these chemicals are linked to infertility, but also to, can you please let Lex in?
We're getting text messages.
Getting text, Lex, LEX.
I don't think everybody in that's on there. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep going.
So we learned about this really impacts everyone, because we learned these chemicals are linked to a lot of diseases and issues. But then the flip side, what is hormone health, and how can we impact that?
Yeah, look, I think many of you on this call are familiar with the idea about toxic load, about the number of chemicals we put on our body. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but it was shocking to us in a very personal way. And it was more than just, we looked at this, and we initially approached it from the topic of fertility, or infertility in our case. So it was very specific to that. But as we started looking at the correlation, and each study would have infertility as one of the issues that was coming along with hormone disruption and overall toxicity. But the next thing you'd see is cancers, and you'd see developmental disorders. You'd see correlations with mental health issues and weight, thyroid. You know, what we learned, and Kelly, maybe I'll have you flip over here. I'm going to show you a few things. Let's go. Yeah, look, we're here to help people with education, with products, with a community of support, and with a way to benefit from it both from a place of heart, but also from a place of financial security.
Maybe we should talk about why we chose a business model, or is that come future?
Yeah, we'll keep going, and we
Right.
just kind of talked through this. Okay, let's go over to the next one. So we'll talk about our backgrounds for a sec right here, Kelly, and then we're going to come back into the why the topic of hormone health, because I think it's important to kind of go there. Look, my background, I started in investment banking. My career, I worked in real estate. I worked in private equity, though I've never bankrupted a company. And I mean that sincerely, because there's different types of private equity. And I've spent my time, my last 7 years working with a family office. So I worked for very wealthy individuals, billionaires, and I helped them build businesses, grow businesses, invest in real estate. Anybody in Southern California might know the brand Wally's. That's a brand that I concepted and helped take from a single location to now it's going to go all over the world, and it's a pretty exciting thing learning about experiential retail. And so we were fortunate. I was fortunate to kind of live, I guess, the billionaire's life from the passenger seat. And while it was intoxicating, it was all of those things. It wasn't what got me excited. I very much learned that helping people, seeing people thrive, succeed, seeing people as I'm running businesses, watching people hit their goals and accomplish things that they didn't think were possible. That was it. I mean, we made great livings. We had plenty of money, but it wasn't really what we were searching for.
Well, I think so. I've always worked in philanthropy. And so my last role was, I have my MBA from USC and has 2 masters from USC. But I've always so my last role, I was hired by USC to work for their business school and help with their $6 billion campaign. So what I did, I started with only 2 cities as my region. When I left, I covered 25 states. But I developed relationships with our top alumni and parents, and would fly down and sit down and, ask them and raise a lot of money, tens of millions of dollars. And when we finally had our kids, I looked at Ben and just said, we know about a topic that impacts everyone. Between our professional networks, we can get to anyone, and we have a responsibility. And me as a professional fundraiser, if I feel like we can call and ask for favors, I'll ask for them. So we did. We called our billionaire friends. We called experts in different industries and said, who can you introduce us to? How can we do it? Who can we meet? And our network really came together. And
so,
sorry.
Kelly, why don't we go ahead and go? We're going to skip a couple of slides. Well, no, we're not going to skip that one. Go back. We got to look at Kelly for a second here. This is our incredible team. We have people who are seasoned experts, Kelly being one of them, people who have both been in the field. So Amanda Lauren's on our team. She's been here since day one, since before we had products. She worked for JP Morgan. She worked developing training content and leading massive call centers and opening up. She went over to the Philippines. She's incredible. But as a side gig, she also developed 2 top level or top tier businesses as a side hustle in 2 different direct selling companies. So she's been in the field. And so when we asked,
she was recruited by Avon.
and then she was recruited by Avon to go out of the field and go take a job there. So that's Craig Collier. He's been for 20 plus years. He scaled companies literally all over the world. Each one of his companies has seen massive growth underneath his leadership, and we've been very fortunate to have him join us about 6-7 months ago, and the results are there. And then Kelly, many of you already know and love, but she is incredible. She connects with people in a very special way, and the care and concern of Kelly really permeates our community. We are very proud of the community that we have, where people come together, they work across teams, they work to help each other win, and we celebrate each other's successes. We hear this over and over again, and you can ask Brooke or whomever, but we try really hard to build people up with encouragement, and to see other people win is just as exciting as seeing us win, each one of us win. So let's go back, Kelly, let's go to the next slide. And not that one, Go forward, please. And we have some incredible doctors. These are some of the most foremost experts on the topic of hormones, hormone health. We have an expert in direct selling and an expert in the middle and chemical exposure testing. So she developed the first urine-based at-home chemical exposure test. So when we get ready to do our products, we run them by this group of professionals. We start with paper formulas, then we move into the ingredients, then we get them tested. Dr. Jenna Waugh does more than just kind of run them through a database. She actually tests the products, says, yeah, your vendors may say one thing, but this is what's really coming out to the market.
World-renowned professionals.
Yeah. So I think we're now going to get into the topic of hormone health. Yeah. So why hormone health, right? I think, everybody's very familiar with the term clean, and clean is an amazing thing, but what does that mean? What does that do? I think we all struggle with what that means. And why did we take it to something specific like this? Well, for us, hormones changed our lives in a profound way. And not knowing about what we put on in and around our body, not knowing that those things can affect our overall health and wellness was something that frankly shocked us. And it took years, it took us 12 years, 14 years to have our kids. So I think it's important to understand healthy hormones are the foundation of your physical health, mental health, and physical appearance, right? If we want to feel good, we want to look good, we want to think clearly, our hormones need to be taken care of. One of the fastest things we can do is to get things out of the way that are holding us back. But then there are some things that we can also do to help promote better overall hormone health and general health and appearance. Okay, let's go to the next one. And this is a big problem, right? So you can see here, environmental toxins, endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDC, hormone disruptors. That's a $350 billion hit to the economy. A lot of times stress and hormone disruption are together. Our bodies tell themselves when they're tired by secretion of hormones, right? We've all heard of melatonin, all these different things. It's a big deal. And then inadequate nutrients also plays a big role in overall, lack of health. So go to the next one, please. And this is what's interesting. People talk about clean, but they don't necessarily talk about hormones and hormone health. And you want one to affect the other, but they also work hand in hand. I think it's the same mission. The overall goal is the same thing. What do hormones do? They control everything in our bodies, from when we get tired, when we get hungry, from our muscle mass, from our appearance, our skin, our elasticity. All of those things are controlled by that. And then next one. And it's a big problem, right? And I hope you'll bear with us. We generally do not do slideshows, like we never do. But we've been asked to kind of go through and build the case for why Hugh and Grace exists and why our approach to the market makes sense. And so that's what we're showing here. We've got a big problem. We've got a huge market. If you talk about the things associated with hormone disruption, you're talking about obesity. We're talking about heart attacks. We're talking about cancers. We're talking about developmental disorders. We're talking about infertility. All of these things are massive markets. They affect you or somebody you love, which means there are a lot of people that we can reach out to on the topic of hormone health.
I want to be careful because we do not say we're going to cure cancer. We do not.
No.
Restrictive, but
it's quite the opposite. Let's get the things out of the way and then provide our bodies with the next slide. We'll show kind of how we look at the world. So why don't you talk about this and why we chose our business model?
Yeah. So when we finally had our kids and we said, okay, what can we do? Let's create these products. One of the fastest ways to help reduce your chemical exposures through your skincare. Your skin's your largest organ. But we said, okay, if we're going to truly create a solution to a problem, we need to do more than just sell products. You have to create awareness. There's education and content. There's community with products. And when I was at graduate school, my favorite Harvard business case study was on a lady named Brownie Weiss. She is the woman back in the 50s who invented the Tupperware party. She created this whole platform that empowered women back in the 50s, and people were not working, to go and share products and sell products. And I actually, the very end of this case study, we watched this black and white video of her at a conference recognizing women on stage. And I was so impacted. I actually flew to her museum in Orlando after I graduated, have photos there. But it was a platform that really changed the world. and changed so many lives, but also business, how business was done. And so when we were saying, if we're going to truly create a solution to a problem, it's this is the best model to do it, but how do we modernize it? How do we make it where we want to be there? People want to do it with us, because there is education, there's content, there's community.
Well, then how do we reward the people that are making a difference, right? We didn't want to be a second piece to that from a business case is, you know, I ran a retail business that we created an experiential retail concept because traditional retail was very difficult to make a viable business. And then I still sit on the board of a direct to consumer wine company that was acquiring customers through Facebook ads and Google ads. And I was watching it get more and more expensive and less of a viable business model. And we thought if we could take a direct consumer experience, if we could make things look, feel, and act like the way people shop every day, but we could power it by an amazing community of people, create an incentive structure that creates alignment, motivation, engagement, have some fun doing it. I mean, I joke, but I'm not really kidding. I think about 70% of the reason Sarah picked this business model is because she wanted to go on lots of trips and take lots of people with her. So we have some incredible incentive trips. We love to do pop-up events and collaboration, and she is a master at developing networks and putting that together. So we as a community can do things that you really can't get access to. Give me all the trips. I know, Brooke, we know this about you. So, you know, that was the idea, is if we could do this, if we're going to leave our careers, we're comfortable, we're, you know, successful, however you want to measure it, and we're going to go do something else. We want to do it in a way that makes sense so that we can spend time with our friends, or excuse me, spend time with our family, and then create an environment around us where we're really building friendships and building community and helping people with their goals, whether that be earning a trip, whether that be earning some extra money, whether that be, you know, building self-confidence. There's so many ways that this business can impact people in a positive way. And that's what motivated us to go down this path. And we did not have experience in direct sales.
Well, no, Steve Ballmer, I went and heard him speak, and he said, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And at the time, Ben worked for some very difficult businessmen. But I said, Ben, out of your 5, I'm the only person that is positive. And I said, out of mine, I worked with great people, but I said, we want to create a business where we want to work with these people. We want to have amazing experiences and be with people who are positive, who work hard, who I was invited to go attend Milken Global Institute. It's, for those who don't know, it's a worldwide conference with global leaders that come in from all over. It's $50,000 a ticket. It's really.
We did not pay that.
No,
We were actually invited to attend.
Yeah, they actually featured our products in their VIP swag bags, and so they invited me to attend and want us to speak in the future, which is super exciting because it talks about the topic of the hormone health is trending. But when I was there was a panel of all women. It was the first event, the first time ever at Milken where the entire panel was female. And the topic was the $700 billion investment in women, and how when people invest in women, how that amplifies in lots of ways. But this lady said, you know, I never want to be the only rock star in the room. I always want to surround myself with people who work hard, who go and want to change the world. And she said, people have best friends. I want to find a boost friend. Who's going to boost you? Who's going to push you to really make that impact? And she goes, and I put it out there. I only want builders. I only want to surround myself with builders because that's how I truly make impact. She's also a multi-billionaire and has made such an amazing impact in community philanthropy. But I just thought it was so interesting that this is how we are all like, we're all doing this together. And to be able to work with especially so many female entrepreneurs in our business. We do have men. We love men too.
Yeah. I'm usually the only guy in the room sometimes.
But how cool that we're able to create great community.
Yeah. Look, Kelly, let's run through this. I want to give you a little bit of stats. So this is kind of how we look at the world. When we have these things, when we have proper nutrients, when we have better stress management, we have more restful sleep, we have proper hydration, we're detoxifying and reducing inflammation and maintaining a healthy weight, we are feeling better, we are doing better, our minds are clearer. So while we're not suggesting in any manner that we cure cancer, we are doing the things that prevent it, right? As we do these things, our body has a better chance to heal itself, and the body is extremely resilient. So this is a very simple way to look at how we laid out our product roadmap and laid out how we wanted to approach things. And this isn't just one thing. This isn't a single pill. This isn't just skincare. This isn't just home care. It's a lifestyle, right? And it's a lifestyle that has to be simple or no one will do it. So our products, we try to make them so that they do the work of many. So we have this concept of simple swaps. You know, why don't you swap out what you're using for something that, first of all, performs better, it's better for you, and it's a great value because you're getting rid of 3 or 4 things by these incredible products. So we'll just, Kelly, I think products are next. Yeah. So science-backed, clinically proven ingredients. That's what we focus ourselves on.
Goes on in and around.
What goes on in and around. So skin, health, and home is kind of the way we look at this. Let's keep going. You guys can all see this on our website. You'll notice we've had a few awards. Forbes Best Men's Skincare and Best Travel Skincare on the left there. We just got this one for our Velvet Body Butter in Forbes. We didn't even know it came out.
We don't pay for PR.
Yeah, we just
So,
you got to understand a few things about us. We are not backed by huge funds. We're backed by families, friends, and some billionaires, but people who look at this business as a business that you're building for the long term. We're not really looking to get in and get an exit. We're looking, our kids' names are on the door. We're looking to build something of enduring value, something that we can be proud of and the people around us can be proud of. So that's who has invested in Hugh and Grace. And there's a slide at the very end about that. But this is our skincare line. Plenty of details on the website. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. And then this is our wellness line. And what's interesting, and maybe talk about this, what's interesting is we started with skincare and had a great, we grew massively our first 2 years. Then we added our wellness line about 1.5 years in. And what surprised us is, you think you know how the business is going to turn out. Your customers tell you what they like and what is reordered. So when we first launched with skincare only, our average days to reorder was about 72. So that means people are buying a product and they're not going to reorder from you for another 1.5 months, 2 months plus. That means you need more customers. Now with our wellness line, our average days to reorder is 29. So people are actually buying products, enjoying them so much they're buying a second time in a month. And some of that's advocates buying stuff, but it's all of it lumped together. It's 29 days on average. Our average order value, and we'll get to these. In fact, I don't want to scoop all my slides with the numbers on them, so I'll just keep going. But wellness has become something that's become very easy. We call it our top selling thing called the routine. So that's our
top selling set.
Our top selling set. That's our Hydrate Detox, Marine Collagen, and morning supplements.
So you take the morning supplement on an empty stomach. First thing, gives you energy, it detoxifies your liver, it helps with great skin. Our Hydrate Detox has a patented, so we actually worked with formulators to do the very largest drink formulations on the market because we want to be able to scale. And so what we do is we have the most bioavailable L-glutathione on the market, a patented prebiotic, a patented probiotic, magnesium, electrolytes, fiber. It is all you need in one drink that actually tastes good. And then we have our collagen that mixes completely clear in water. It's pure single source Japanese farm raised codfish. And we do that, and the way this is completely clear in water is fun because we've been doing different wellness activations where you can put your collagen in the Hydrate Detox. You're welcome to do it that way. But we've also done collagen and cocktails. And then
we go to our events, our advocates come up with great ones. Like for some reason, instead of water, their vodka makes it in the glass. I don't understand, but it's all fun.
But you look at our sales also, our wellness, our sales are huge. And that's what is everyone, when people start those products, they don't get off, and it builds a very sustainable business.
Well, we'll talk about that because I think one thing that differentiates us from like a traditional beauty company is people buy from us on a regular basis, and 50% of our business comes from subscription. 72% of our revenue comes from reorders, from repeat customers. So we have a really high when you can get that number of people ordering frequently, you can build a business that has that monthly income that you're looking for, instead of a business that when you have a sale in November, you got to pop. When you have a sale in the spring, you got to pop. Instead of making 4 sales a year, you can have nice, dependable income every month. Let's keep going for our home care. And this third vertical, the idea here is you can do all you want about your skin, clean skincare and everything else. And then if we spray chemicals all over our house, we're in our house, we're sleeping in that, we're ingesting it, we're putting it on our hands and putting it in our mouth. So why not create something that does a really excellent job of cleaning, that smells incredible, and that is really simple. So a single cleaning concentrate that you can dilute up and down. We
We
just,
replace every chemical in your house.
yeah. Well, yeah, it does. It smells like a spa. So that was the idea behind this. We just wanted you to kind of understand the philosophy. Why would you do this? Well, there's not one thing that's going to solve it. So how about we approach it in a thoughtful manner? Not too many products, but products that are really, really good and work really well. All right. So one of the things Brooke asked for, as well as others, is where are you going? And what's yeah. Brooke's never seen this. So we put this together today. These are not the actual packages. These are renderings. Some of these dates are on there. Some of them are not on there. But we wanted to just show you kind of where we are and where we're going. So we have formulas already locked for hair care. It's a beautiful formula. The question is, when do you release that? We're not going to tell you exactly when we're going to release that, but it's going to be happening this year within the next 6 months. Yeah, but I didn't say the month and the day. All right, so it's going to be in 2024. And we're working on a couple of other things. These are by requests, right? So we're working on functional cosmetics. We're not going to be a full color cosmetic company. I just want to make that clear. We won't be doing color palettes. That's actually a really difficult business to maintain because there's seasonality, they expire, and it's a harder sell. People have to do a lot of
subscription.
And people don't subscribe to that, so it's harder to have an enduring business off of that, and it's hard for the company. You see a lot of cosmetics companies struggle because of that, and so. But what we can do is things that have multi-use. So you've been working on kind of a couple of lip to cheeks and things that can add
things that are versatile, things that people use every day. So we always say, we're like, Ben and I, we are not perfect. Our kids eat McDonald's every once in a while. We are. I do Botox a few times a year. We do stuff that we are normal people, but you really think about it, the things you use every day, multiple times a day, that's what really impacts your chemical exposure. And if you can just have better performing products and use that, that's what really impacts you.
So that's the skin side. The health side, some of these products are done. It's just a matter of when we're going to release them. The lower products that don't have a date on them, those are things that we're still doing testing on. So I can't get to that. Yeah, the Hydrate Detox, we've already announced this. We have a watermelon flavor that about 100 people got Watermelon Refresh. About 100 people got to taste that when we were in our Hawaii trip this past month. And we've already been told that we need to put that in line. So we haven't received it yet, but we're about to put a reorder in on that. And then we have a cacao that many of our leaders who got together at our annual leadership retreat got a chance to taste. And this is, you can use it as a morning coffee replacement, or you can use it and make a mocha coffee. But this is from the hills. This is organic. This is from artisan farmers, mixed with functional mushrooms. It helps you feel better. You could take this. You could add your collagen. You could have an incredible morning drink. That one, again, I don't know that we're going to release a hot drink in the middle of summer, but we're gonna be thoughtful about when that comes out. But that formula is done. We're just getting ready to take that out there. You guys are getting information that our advocate community hasn't gotten.
So stop talking.
Yeah, completely.
Next slide, guys.
All right. So again, we do the best we can to hit these timelines. Sometimes the world changes. We can't hit it all on time. And we will explain that and be clear with you and just say it straight up how it is. All right, next. And this is really the business model. I think maybe talk about some of the differentiation that we tried to incorporate in.
Yeah, so we were saying, how do we modernize direct sales? How do we make it where it's affiliate plus? We want to meet people where they are. And so our advocates can earn, so you all understand the advocate model, we can earn between 25 and 40% through our advocate model. Affiliates, so influencers, they earn 20% commission. And retailers, that's where, think of a local retailer. So we were at just the Grand Wailea with in Maui, which is the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. with our top 100 advocates a few weeks ago, and they carry our products there in their brand newly renovated spa, which was awesome. But to be there, but what this model does is it allows our advocates, if they have relationships with an influencer or with a local retail location, you can go and you can actually go enroll them. So affiliates and retailers do not build teams, but advocates can enroll that and build your business that way as well.
Right. So rather than trying to compete with an influencer, you can say to your influencer friend who does not want to build a team, they just want to sell your product and 30 other products, you know, Hugh and Grace, one of them, they can sign up, they can earn a flat 20% commission, and you can benefit from that volume to help build your business. Same thing with retailers. We'll probably do a revamp on the retailer program. We've rolled it out and we're testing and we're learning and we're seeing what do the prices need to be and how can that compensation work to be even more beneficial. But same thing, let's say you have a friend who has a spa. You can sign that person up, they start selling the collagen products, etc. You're benefiting from that larger volume of sales. Retailers are actually our highest lifetime value. So let's go to the next slide here. So I've touched on some of these numbers, and I usually don't talk this much, but we're talking on the business side, so I get into the numbers a little bit on that. I mean, my background's finance, and so I hope you'll bear with me. Sarah usually very much takes the lead on a lot of this stuff.
I'm happy to have you talk.
She's never been this quiet in her life, by the way. So these are the things. If I'm looking at a potential new business opportunity, I need to understand some stuff. Do people like the products? How do you understand that? Is there a market for the products? Do people like it? You look at, are they buying it and are they rebuying it, right? And how frequently? Because if they're only buying once a year, and that's not going to help me, I'm going to have hundreds of clients and just wait for that once a year purchase, unless they're spending $100 grand a pop. But so how do I do that? And then is it sticky? Are people coming back? And is it growing? So all of those questions can be answered here. Our average order value fluctuates. The holidays, you'll go up to 135, 140. First quarter, it depends on what people are buying that time of the year, right? But it's about $125, $130 of our average order value. And I'm gonna have to zoom in here. What I did is I benchmarked these against a series of competitors, a combination of beauty and wellness. And so our average order value is about 50% higher than most companies' average order values. Our repurchase rate, 53% of people buy and then buy from us again. Most of that's done within the next 30 to 60 days, but you'll have people that come back after 6 months, or they'll come back in a year. So we get 53% of people who try our products try them a second time, and try them a third time. On average, it's 4.4 times purchase. And then, yeah, so that's 77% better than average. And then our average days to reorder is 29. It fluctuates between 29 and 32. It used to be 72 when we were pure skincare, which I think if you've sold cosmetics and skincare, this is a different way to look at the world, that you can build a loyal customer base that buys from you every month. And then you can really key on holiday opportunities and certain buying opportunities for skincare. Brooke has given a great example of this. This is what we've learned from our friends that have come in from other businesses. But it allows you to, every month on the 1st and the 15th, we process our subscriptions, and people get a nice paycheck on the 1st and the 15th. And at the month end, they have their monthly bonuses. So it's just chunks of money coming over time. And then lastly, look, we're growing. September, since Q3 of this year till Q1 of this year, we've grown 75%. That's not stopping. We have some incredible people who've joined us from lots of different places, and incredible people within Hugh and Grace who just continue to build their businesses. We just got back from our Hawaii incentive trip, and it was so fun seeing so many people who've been to the first one and the second one and the third one, and they just continue to keep going. But I wanted to share some of these with you. Let's go to the next slide. And this goes back to that idea of subscription, right? So we have grown from 2021 to 2024 about 11 times. That's 1,100% growth. No, it's 11,000% growth. Wow. 51% of our revenue comes from subscribers, and about 132% more value of having a subscription customer than a non-subscription customer. The reason we do this is we provide our HG Insiders, where they get a 10% discount. They have a reduced shipping threshold. They get
product credit for every order.
Product credit for every order, early access. These things don't impair an advocate's income. It helps. And so we've set it up. There should be no reason why people don't want to get on subscription. And that's why we're
And
now,
it's free to
yeah, it's
join.
free to enroll now. So it's over 50% of the revenue is coming from that. Next slide. I'm trying to remember where we are now. Oh, we got our little Hugh and Grace. Sarah, why don't you speak to you're going to have this and you're going to have our collaborations, and we're going to talk about the board of leaders. Those are the last three, if I'm not mistaken.
So we have been very fortunate to have great people support us. We got picked up in Wall Street. So I said, we're not spending money on PR, and we got picked up in Wall Street Journal. You can see the title for USA Today. Hugh and Grace is starting conversations about toxic chemical exposure and hormone health. I'm going to New York City on Tuesday. I think I'm speaking at a very exclusive private health club called The Well, and I'm speaking all about hormone health. We have a lot of different collaborations. I'm sure it's on there, but you have the Zoe report. If you see Rachel Zoe, you know who she is. She
We do have a slide on our investors.
Okay, so we're her largest investment. Yes, come with me everywhere. Bye, guy. Forbes. Ben mentioned we just got picked up at Forbes again for best, top 5 body better for luxurious skin. And so, but these are people who have heard about Hugh and Grace through our advocates, but we're not paying, or just authentically, people who really love the brand and love what we're doing.
Let's go to the next one, Kelly. And
right.
I'm gonna brag on my wife a little bit here. I don't know if there's anyone on the planet who can develop relationships and network into places better than Sarah. We are still a small company, and we haven't gone and raised a tremendous amount of money. What we've done is we've hustled and built. We've gone side by side. We've shown up around the country at our advocates' homes, in everywhere. I mean, we've been, our first year we were in 60 cities. We said if you get 50 people in a room, we're going to show up for you. And I saw Christian there. We've been to Christian's home and in Florida, and she hosted an amazing event. But we went out because we knew that if we could help our advocates build their businesses, that would help the company. And so we very much invest our time and efforts to make that happen.
And you may not know some of these brands, like Meadowood and Napa Valley. It's one of the best hotels, boutique hotels in America. I mean, it's right in Napa Valley. Cecilia, you have Rodeo Drive Women's Health Center. It is the #1 OBGYN clinic in Beverly Hills. You have a lot of celebrities that are there. And I say that because the fact that we have brands that are this caliber coming and partnering with us, it's huge. So IIN right there in the middle. It's the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. It is the most prestigious health education platform. It's actually the largest health education platform in the world. Deepak Chopra is their chief wellness officer, and they've certified over 160,000 health coaches. They came to us and said, we want to do stuff with you. So they have several different health teaching courses. They actually, we'll talk more about that, but they said that they do have a hormone health certification course, and they actually just launched a Hugh and Grace scholarship that will be an ongoing scholarship for someone to be able to enroll in that course. They also gave us a Hugh and Grace code. And so if anyone, your customer, any advocates, they're welcome to share it. You can put Hugh and Grace in at their courses. Our courses usually run between $1,000, I think $5,000. So they're not inexpensive, but actually for the rest of this month, it's 50% off. So if you're ever interested in IIN, go to there, use the code Hugh and Grace, so spell out ANDGRACE, and you'll get 50% off their courses.
Yeah. So why is this relevant? I look, we're in sales. You always hear the statistic. It takes 6, 7, 8 times for somebody to hear something or see something before you convert them to a customer. Well, if we can go out and put our products in these places or have conversations with these types of groups, your friends, your network, those people will have seen Hugh and Grace and associated it with something that they are, that builds confidence that Hugh and Grace is a brand, and I think you'll see the picture on the bottom left here. We did our annual incentive trip at the Grand Wailea, which is a Waldorf Astoria property. And I will tell you this, we got lucky. Timing can be everything sometimes. This is not something that you can typically afford within a budget for an incentive trip. But they were doing a massive renovation, and part of that renovation was a $55 million renovation to their spa. So it's the most preeminent spa in the Waldorf Astoria global portfolio. The other reason is, unfortunately, the Hawaiian fires hit, and we looked and saw that maybe we could support, and we helped. So we were able to book rooms at a rate that made sense. But what also happened was Sarah built a relationship with spa managers there. And if you look above our little Hugh and Grace, you'll see Hugh and Grace products at the $55 million spa that just opened up. Incredibly validating. Sarah was supposed to meet yesterday with a group of Four Seasons planners. So we're doing this where, so the best way for you to say, somebody says, well, how do I know the products are good? You say this sold in the best Waldorf Astoria spa in the world. They're sold at Four Seasons. They're sold at here. These places don't sell much. That's not a part of our revenue. It's more for proof points. It's PR. Those spas generally don't sell a ton of products, but it does tell you that you've got a high caliber product because they vet it very hard.
Next slide.
Next slide. These are just
some images of what we do. I will call out though our RV in the middle. Wait, go back. So when Ben and I, we talked about, we launched our business and we told our advocates, get people in a room and we're going to go support you. And we really are in 60 cities the next few months. And we said, we start this business so we can be with our kids.
And we weren't with our kids.
And so, so we did, Ben said, how about we get an RV?
We'll just flip the equation.
Yeah. So that following summer, we got the RV and wrapped it. You'll see Hugh and Grace on the side. And that following summer, we were in 32 states. We went from LA to Seattle to Boston, DC, and back. Did over 20 events. Learned. We've done that the past while. And then the topic of hormone health is trending. I'm speaking at multiple events next week in New York City and several media events as well. Mm-hmm. And we said, if we do not go, and we go back in November, and we kids for 20 nights. We were in Portugal, we were in Barcelona, we were all over the country. Yeah, that's the reasons for that. And we said, if we care so much and we want this to be with our kids and build. So we are actually now at an RV. So we're full-time in an RV for right now. Yeah, and I think it shows our passion. Well, it shows our dedication.
I think so, but why is that? It's because if we talk about direct selling and direct sales as a opportunity to have a flexible lifestyle and to develop and to kind of build the life that you want to build, who are we if we're not being able to lead by example? So we just decided we know it's important to us. It's our family. It's building an amazing community and business that's sustainable, that's here for the long term, it's enduring. And we don't want to have to make trades that says, well, you build one or the other. I'm not really worried about having it all. I'm worried about having what's important to us around us. And we very much try to support our advocates in that same endeavor and with the same efforts. All right, Hugh and Grace growth plan. Again, this is just a little bit of kind of where we came, where we've gone, where we're headed, right? So we've been growing rapidly. We have introduction of new plans going forward. We're currently researching international expansion. Oh, did you just read that? Yes, you just read that. I've been on the phone all day trying to figure out how to make that happen fast. It's so funny. One word can get you excited, but you have any idea how much work that takes to get all that stuff figured out? So we're working on that actively. We have a lot of inbound interest that's kind of pulling us that direction. So more to come on that. I don't want to make any commitments on that because it is a process. But we have every intention of expanding this business and creating a big business. And Sarah's the one that loves to lay out the big numbers, but
we will be a large, I don't want to say a number, but like we'll be a global company. I mean, the topic of hormone health, it impacts everyone. And as I was with this conference, like Elon Musk spoke there, Bill Clinton spoke there, kings of countries were speaking there. And everyone I met with, I said, I said, what's Hugh and Grace? I said, we're a lifestyle wellness brand that promotes hormone health. I had people, everybody stopped and said, what is that? Tell me more. And to see the interest of people from all over the world be so interested in, like I said, it's lifestyle, home care, skincare, wellness. It's easy. These are products you're already using. I had everyone want to, like, they're asking if they can, how they can get involved, which is super exciting. But we are such on the cusp of excitement, and to be able to, and I love partnering with advocates, partnering with amazing people who can really build and who can grow and who make this where we left very successful careers and a relatively easy, we loved our careers. I mean, we were eating the best restaurants in the world and going to some amazing parties and flying private. But really, when it came down to it, Ben was making billionaires wealthier. I was making a wealthy university wealthier. And what did meaning mean to us? And what was really impactful? It was being together as a family, but also benefiting way more than just us.
And I think it's important to understand that. I think a lot of companies, we watch from the sidelines, you see the new hot direct selling company that comes up and they go like this, they go like that. We've tried to build this thoughtfully. When we started this, we went with consultants and I looked at all the ways the direct selling company can fail, not how it can succeed, because the rest of it takes care of itself. But it was about building repeat purchases. It was about building consumable products. It's about building a culture that people want to be a part of. It doesn't shun success because then people leave. So bring that. And then the other thing that helps success, and I think it's the last slide. I'm hoping this is the last one. Yes, is we don't think we know everything. Quite the opposite. I got tasked, I was in my mid-30s, now in my late 40s. I got as one of my roles at the family office, we bought a business called Wally's Wine and Spirits. It was a wine store. Sarah and I didn't grow up drinking. I didn't know what a Pinot Noir was, and all of a sudden I got tasked with turning around a business that we had bought that was making money and then started losing money. They dropped me in, and I had to figure out how to operate a business with 200 employees and no knowledge of the product. So I learned a very valuable lesson. Sometimes to be the smartest person in the room, you have to say the least, and you listen to the people who are talking to your customers who are actually out there. So when we launched this business, we said, how do we do this? How do we, systems scale and systems keep you on track? How do we build systems so that we always have a listening culture built in? So we have a board of leaders. That board of leaders is comprised of advocates, not purely based on rank. It's based on we want to have a look at somebody who's new to the business. What are they experiencing? What are their needs? Somebody who's here, somebody who's here. You want to hear a little bit of all of those things. Stagger them from they've been here a long time, they've been here a little time, because then you get a 360 picture of what the business needs. And so we've got the board of leaders that comes and people cycle on for 12-month terms and cycle off. But we listen. So they have regular meetings when we have an idea about a promotion, we have an idea about things, we run it by our board of leaders. When we have something, sometimes the answer is, that's not a good idea. If you did it this way, it would work. And we really try to listen to this. And Sarah's been on it. She's commenting here. And so what we try to do is do those things. There's probably 5 meetings with our staff, Kelly and Craig, our team. And then Sarah and I every month get on the board of leaders. So there's always a direct line of communication so that we can hear things firsthand. Because as companies grow, they'll become a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer, and it's telephone. So what can we do? And we listen. When we can take action, we do it quickly and we report those wins back quickly. If we can't, we explain why. And we just try to keep things that simple. Sometimes we don't name when we're going to drop a product because people need excitement. And sometimes dates slip. And when those slip, it's painful. And we try to, and then it feels like we made a mistake, but we didn't know. So, but what we try to do is just be transparent, and people seem to be a lot more forgiving when they know that you're being straight with them, because we all have things that don't go according to plan.
We always say that Ben and I are smart. We're educated, but we're even better at surrounding ourselves with even smarter people. So we have our world-renowned doctors on our medical advisory board. We have expert product formulation groups. Say groups, we have different product verticals. But then really, you are advocates. You're the experts. You're the ones who are out talking to customers every day. You're the ones who are talking to each other and building teams. And this is really a place for us to be able to learn and get ideas and really help with strategy as well.
Right. And the only thing we ask is that if somebody comes there with a complaint, they also come with a potential solution. So we want to make it constructive. And that's the way I've always approached life. I've got no problem. You've got something that's not working great. Give me 1 or 2 ideas on how we can make it better, and we'll get to work on that. you know, it may not even be a good idea. We may come up with a better one, but we always, if there's a problem, let's come up with at least one way that we could have a solution. And look, this is, again,
That last slide.
the last slide is just a closing slide.
Oh.
But this is, in fact, you can just flip over that, Kelly, just so it sits there. We don't typically do calls like this, but it's an interesting and unique time. And I just want to speak with a little bit of compassion. I know a lot of people's lives have changed pretty dramatically over the last few weeks, and a lot of things that weren't expected to happen that happened. I just, I take a lot of responsibility, and I know all CEOs do, and so it must have been hard, the whole team, where there was such a dramatic change. We lose sleep at night trying to make sure that we do things right, and we worry a lot about our advocate community and want to make sure they're taken care of. And so, when people are dislodged and things that they were depending on aren't there anymore, we have a lot of compassion for you. But we would love to welcome you to the Hugh and Grace community. We would love to help you find a new home that would be something you can be excited about and build and feel connected to. And if it's not the right fit, we can understand that. Nothing's for everybody, but and we'll help if we can in any other way, like directing you somewhere else. But we just want you to know that we appreciate you tuning in. We very much love and appreciate our advocate community, and we feel very fortunate. And as we always say, we have our founding story, our origin story, but our story is really just out there to help facilitate your stories. And our advocates talk about what attaches to them about the Hugh and Grace mission, and that's what's the important part.
This is amazing. I feel like I'm not, this isn't my call.
I'm never the closer.
Oh, it's a good closing. I loved it. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Go to dinner. We appreciate you so much.
No, this is it's our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Now you're sideways again. Okay, bye.
Hey, we're back. Yeah, they're trying to turn the speakerphone back on.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.